I usually park between the.
Yeah. Good evening. I'd like to call tonight's Board of Commissioners meeting to order. If we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, for the roll call this evening, all who are expected to be in attendance are in attendance with the exception of Commissioner Robert, who is absent this evening. There are no agenda modifications. Announcements and presentations, we have none. On to hearings and approvals. Number 6.1, consideration of the written decision for Vipin Properties LLC conditional use application for Hamilton Square project. The applicant has requested that the decision be continued to the first or second meeting in January. 6.2, Resolution 2024-54, approving a land development review waiver request for lot line adjustment of 5098 Reservoir Hill Road.
Motion to approve. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Anything, Vince?
I just have a little synopsis. This is just a PP&L lot line adjustment as before you at the November workshop. So they're only seeking a waiver of land development due to the fact they're not increasing the overall footprint of the property or proposing any structures. They're relocating the lot lines to accommodate existing structures and per se cleaning up the property. So staff sees no reason to have the applicant proceed through formal land development, supports a waiver.
My apologies for jumping the gun. Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Attorney Schock, anything? No? That's okay. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, item 6.3, ordinance 2024-05, adopting the budget and setting the tax rate for 2025.
Thank you, gentlemen. Before you this evening is the funding plan as presented at the November meeting, reviewed at the previous workshop and all of the budget workshops. This budget does keep taxes at their current rate as well as sewer rates for the new year. It's been advertised and available for public view as per the law, and now it's time for the board to consider this funding plan.
Any commissioner? Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions?
Just want to point out that again, we're keeping the tax rate the same. So no increase in Loma Country.
Yep, very good. Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll ask Mrs. Flexer to please call the roll.
Aye.
Commissioner Beitler,
Aye.
Commissioner Higgins.
Aye.
Commissioner Shoemaker.
Aye. The ayes have it. Item 6.4, ordinance 2024-05.
Thank you. This sets the homestead exemption rate for the first $119,950. This is necessary for the residents to exercise on that exemption. It's up slightly from the 2024 year.
Okay, is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6.6, Resolution 2024-57, fee schedule amendments. Mr. Beidle.
We're going to hit, can we hit item 56, the sewer tapping fee rate?
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right over that.
Yeah, so what you have before you, resolution 2024-56, this does set the rate for sewer allocations. This is not an increase in the actual usage rate. This is the amount paid by new construction to get allocation. This has to be supported by a study which the township engineer has completed, and we look to make sure that we're appropriately charging for for those each year, and this is why you have this before you.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to set the sewer tapping fees rate for 2025. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. 6.6, Resolution 2024-57, Fee Schedule Amendments. Mr. Beidle.
These are the fees charged by the township for varying services, including programs for recreation, rental space, permitting, plan submission and application fees, and all of the related items that the township provides. We look to do this several times a year to make sure we're keeping current and covering our costs to offer these services.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the fee schedule amendments. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration of bids for the 2025 storm sewer repair project. Mr. McAdam.
I'll take it. Thank you, Mr. President. So this is the first of 4 bid recommendations that we have for you tonight. The first is for the storm sewer repair project. As had been discussed at the workshop, we've been working with Public Works and Bruce for a little while now, trying to identify older parts of your infrastructure, specifically the corrugated metal pipe in the township roads that need to be replaced or relined. What this contract does is proposes to remove and replace quite a bit of your storm sewer. And the bid that came in, the low bid was from Barrasso Excavation from Ole for a bid price of $676,500. And we are recommending, we did our research on them and everything came up okay. We're recommending that the award go to Barrasso Excavation.
And I would note that this is within the budget that you gentlemen just considered.
Is there a motion?
There's a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to award the bid for the 2025 storm sewer repair project. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consideration of bids for the 2025 sanitary sewer relining CIPP project. Mr. McAdam.
Okay, thank you. So this contract is, as you're aware, township's been actively pursuing relining a lot of the old clay pipe. We're still at it. This contract is to reline 23,285 linear feet of 8-inch sewer main, approximately 100 feet of 10-inch main, as well as some lateral work. And we had quite a few bidders. It was nice. We got 9 bidders. And this one's a little different. My recommendation from November 21st was out. We had initially thought that it would be okay to recommend awarding the entire bid, including the 2 add alternate line items. Between then and now, we've been working with Bruce and at Public Works, Doug, and there's a sewer run that has to be replaced that will not fall under this contract. And in order to make up for just make sure we're good with budgets, what we're recommending that's different from my letter is we're recommending to award the base bid as well as add alternate line item 6 to install the vacatees. And that total bid would be $1,042,920.
And who are we awarding that to?
I'm sorry, yeah. It would be to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection, LLC.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to award the bid for the 2024 sanitary sewer relining project to Kenyon Pipeline for $1,042,920. Are there any commissioner comments or questions?
Just one question. Just briefly, we talked about a guarantee on the CIPP lining.
and you were gonna check on that and get back to us.
I apologize. I did not check on that. I will follow up for the next meeting.
Okay, any other commissioner comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 6.9, consideration of bids for the Gun Club Road Bridge Replacement Project. Mr. McAdam.
Okay, this is another one that's been before you several times. Without going through the entire history, I will say that we did rebid it with two different options. We had done some additional soil testing and came out with very, very acceptable information. And we have different bid together. We had 7 bidders on this project. The low bid submitted by Professional Construction Contractors Incorporated of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, for a bid price of $548,233. And we're recommending the award go to them.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to award the bid for the Gun Club Road Bridge Replacement Project. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Are there any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 6.10, consideration of bids for the 2025 Community Center Roof Replacement Project.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had 8 bidders for this project. The low bid was by Blair Contracting of Allentown for a bid price of $191,500. There's quite a bit involved. Basically roof replacement, but it's kind of, there's a bunch of different items included in it. I can't say I was directly involved, but I know that our office worked with Stan as well as with the roofing engineer that we used on the other community center project. We're recommending the base bid and the ad alternate be awarded for a total bid amount of $216,500 to Blair Contract.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, item 6.11, Resolution 2024-58, approving a 2-year lease with State Representative Gary Day. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. What you have before you is a lease with the representative's office, Gary Day. As the public may or may not be aware, former State Representative McKenzie has moved on. There was, a vacant office space. We were approached to have continuation of service to the residents by allowing or considering Mr. Day to be, continue with an office down there. We've reviewed it with legal. We continue to think that it's in the best interest of our residents that they have that service of the state representative. This rate is a continuation of what we had seen before, $1,250 a month, and we're recommending that you consider this award.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve a 2-year lease with State Representative Gary Day. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6.12, consideration of agreement for inspection services with Key Codes Inspection Agency.
All right, thank you,
Vince.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before you tonight is the agreement with Key Codes Inspection Agency to provide third-party inspection services to the township for commercial building inspections, also residential electrical inspections. I did confirm with Dave Shields, and he will definitely hold the pricing that's attached in the exhibits if we choose to act upon the automatic renewal for the second year, which we normally do. So I'm recommending the board approves the agreement.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement for inspection services with Key Code Inspection Agency. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. There are, item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Moving forward, item 8, communication. There is no communication this evening. There are no appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. Item 10, approval of meetings or minutes of previous meetings. 10.1, November 21st, 2024.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from November 21st. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 10.2, minutes of December 5th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approval of transfers, bill list, and payroll. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration. The general fund, $259,227.85. The solid waste fund, $34,554.82. The sewer fund, $27,595.85. The capital projects fund, $35,692.20. The open space fund, $4,207.50. The liquid fuels fund, $374,777.62. The payroll, $148,817.41. The developer's escrow, $63,604.55. For a total of all funds, $948,477.80.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And as I always remind the public, our full bill list can be found on our website for your review. Item 12, departmental matters, engineering, Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. All I have tonight is one escrow release for ABE doors in the amount of $2,310.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, anything else, Mr. McAdam?
That'll be it for me unless the board has questions.
Any questions for the engineer? Item 12.2, planning, Mr. Tranguch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a brief update. We received 2 sketch plan submissions for commercial land development projects prior to the December deadline. We're currently working with CKS along with our staff here to garner all our reviews. Most likely we'll have a rather full January Planning Commission meeting with what we have in the queue right now. So, also, we received no appeals prior to the deadline for the zoning hearing board, so no zoning hearing board meeting January. So that board will have to reorganize at their next scheduled meeting. That's all I have unless there's any questions.
Excellent. Any questions for Vince? Item 12.3, solicitor, Solicitor Berman.
All I have is Resolution 2024-60, which accepts right-of-way for Sauerkraut Lane Extension and Route 100 widening. What we have found out is that there's a little bit of right-of-way dedication that just needs to be cleaned up. This is part of it.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Resolution 2024-60, accepting dedication of right-of-way for Sauerkraut Lane Extension and Route 100 widening. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else, Solicitor Broman?
Only informational, and that is the zoning hearing board appeal by Abyss with respect to the basketball court that's in the front yard and it's great. Anyway, they lost before the board. They have appealed, so we have to enter our appearance and file.
Any other
That's it.
questions? Any other questions for this list? Okay. 12.4 Township Manager, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. I have several items, two for the board's consideration this evening. The first item for the last several months, we've been meeting with our Public Works bargaining unit as well as their representation from the Teamsters Local 773 to work on a new collective bargaining agreement that covers those workers. It is a 5-year agreement, with details shared to the board. It's still working its way through some additional, contract language by the attorneys to make sure everything's compliant. What we're asking the board to consider this evening is to approve that agreement as it is, knowing that it's moving forward with just some, like I said, basic cleanup. Nothing's changing. Substantive changes to the document that's been reviewed with everyone. I would recommend from my end that the board consider this. I think it's a fair agreement that works to be advantageous to the citizens and taxpayers as well as our employees. So unless there's any questions, just would thank everybody that helped work through the process and got us to where we are at this point.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the collective bargaining agreement with Public Works employees. Are there any commissioner comments or questions?
I just want to say thanks to Bruce and staff to get this done and cordially, in a friendly manner. So that's always a good thing. So thank you for that.
Okay. Are there any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. The next item, Resolution 2024-61, we would ask the board to consider in association with that collective bargaining agreement that you've just moved forward. Part of that component is a one-time retirement health savings plan contribution for this agreement. It is a one-time cost to the township. It's necessary that we establish a trust for this savings plan. It's only to be used for eligible retirement healthcare expenses. It is provided to the employee, and they have the ability to utilize that upon separation. We had set a trust up previously in one of our other bargaining units. This is the same company, Mission Square, uses the same previous agreement with an amendment to add this plan number. And this is a document authorizing me to create that plan, make sure it's the appropriate parameters, and execute all documents.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the retirement health savings plan with Mission Square. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Beidle.
That's all I have unless there's any other questions. Just want to thank the board for all your support, both with the CBA, the budget, and everything that you've been able to assist staff with. And I appreciate that from my end. So unless there's any questions, that's all I have.
Okay, any other questions for the township manager? Okay, item 13, other business. Anything on the much shorter old business list tonight? Anything from the new business list?
Yeah, we have a couple items this evening just to discuss since there's no workshop with the board this month. Mr. Tranguch has just a couple items to get on your radar about where we are, so what you can expect.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Beidle. So I'm gonna, Renee right now is going to be putting up a plan for,
Vince, just pull that microphone a little closer.
Yep.
Thank you.
you got it. 1208 Brookside Road, which is Bethany United Methodist Church. They had originally come in with a land development plan to expand the campus. However, they've pared that down, and they are coming in with a lot line adjustment. So currently now, Renee, if you could go back one. Currently now, the church along with parking lot is a single parcel. And now where the retention basin is currently 3 parcels. So what they're proposing is to consolidate the 4 parcels into one, which actually would make their property less non-conforming than it already currently is. So the intent for them is that they want to put a canopy addition onto the rear of the building. No heated area. This is just a canopy for when people come to the services, they can park under there, unload, add a handicap accessibility ramp from the rear, and some more handicap parking. So the plan was in front of the Planning Commission on December 10th. Received a recommendation of approval of the lot line adjustment. However, the Planning Commission recommended denial of the applicant's waiver to not dedicate the area between the legal right-of-way and the ultimate right-of-way. So I just wanted to have the board see the plan tonight. Even though, staff, we're still working through along with the township engineer, with the applicant on the minor review items. And again, most importantly, the right-of-way waiver, we're trying to work through with the applicant, and along with, the solicitor. So, if the resolution's prepared, it may be in your packet for January 16th. However, I'd probably likely surmise that, the resolution and the plan, hopefully cleaned up a little bit, will be at the January workshop for further discussion. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, or if you have any questions specifically of Mr. McAdamy as well.
Any questions from Vince? Don't see any.
So I
Ed?
have on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, item 14, Board of Commissioner reports. The next board regularly scheduled meeting is January 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. There is no workshop in December. The next board workshop is January 27th, 2025. I'd like to wish everybody in the township a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Please enjoy the holiday season and be safe and spend time with your families. There is no executive session this evening. With that, we are adjourned.
Those workshops help.
Yes, workshops, telling you.